When my parents dropped me off on my first day on the hilltop, I expected to hear something along the lines of, "Chris, we hope that you succeed at whatever you set your mind to." When I I heard something quite different. We live in a society that is all about succeeding. Just think about it. When my parents dropped me off on my first day on the hilltop, I expected to hear something along the lines of, "Chris, we hope that you succeed at whatever you set your mind to." The truth, though, is that I heard something quite different. We live in a society that is all about succeeding. Just think about it. How many millions of books and movies have been, are still, and will still be written or produced all around the theme of success? How to be successful at, fill in the blank. The most successful at, fill in the blank. How to succeed at, fill in the blank. How to write a successful essay. How to ace your ACT. You get my point. Success, success, and again success. Like most of you, I came to St. George's with my mind set to achieve many goals. I wanted to become a better student, become more knowledgeable, make new friends, open my horizons, become fluent in French, and most importantly, get rid of my thick Mexican accent. I knew that if I accomplished these goals, I would have succeeded as a dragon. So today, I just stand before you on what is a very special occasion for all seniors. I could start talking about everything I have accomplished here at St. George's, all the things I have learned, all the great friendships I have made, and most importantly, how grateful I am to be with all of you. But no, today, I will not do that. Instead, I will talk to you about the complete opposite. I'm going to talk to you about my setbacks, my problems, yes, my failures, because I have learned so much more from them than from my successes. So let me begin. I come from a warm, loving, and very big Mexican family. I have 4 siblings, who many of you know, Nicolás, Camila, Casilda, and young Gonzalo. And as you enter my house, there's a sign that reads, "Remember, as far as everyone is concerned, we're a nice, normal, and happy family." Some of you have had the luck to witness how crazy, loud, and fun my family is. I feel so blessed to have them in my life. My brothers and sisters are my best friends and my backbone, and leaving them, leaving my home, and coming to boarding school made me very nervous. I had heard from my siblings how amazing their SU roommates were, how immediately they had felt a connection with each other in so many ways. Having heard this, I also hoped to have a roommate with whom I would also feel a deep connection and with whom I would turn into a brother instantly. I was hoping to easily make new friends and soon feel at home. But surprise, surprise, it did not happen quite as smoothly and certainly not as quickly as I imagined. In fact, it took quite some time. As Will Rogers, who has been my roommate since freshman year, can tell you, we had some small problems that would end with one of us tackled on the floor and the other one sleeping elsewhere. We would argue about basically everything, from his smelly football clothes and my dirty soccer cleats, to his raging love for the Grateful Dead versus my endless Spanish playlist. We were quite a dysfunctional pair, to say the least. In the beginning, I often felt frustrated, lonely, and yes, homesick. The fact that I could not find a common ground with Will really bothered me, and the fact that we were not instant best friends felt like a real setback. This was my first big challenge. I kept telling myself, "Chris, just face it, you are not as lucky as your siblings." I was used to sharing, discussing, fighting with my siblings, all 4 of them. But Will, on the other hand, is an only boy with 2 younger sisters and was clearly not used to any of this. It took lots of talking, lots of patience to get used to each other's presence and differences. But today, 4 years later, I can honestly tell you that it was those complicated times, those problems, those late-night arguments that we both learned to overcome that helped me understand the true meaning of friendship. Today, Will, my freshman roommate, and trust me when I say this, still smelly, Grateful Dead, loving roommate, has become my little brother Raj. It is also said that to be successful, you must discover who you are as a person, get to know your limitations, what your expectations and goals are. They say that being successful means recognizing your weaknesses without hiding behind them. Figuring out who I was not easy for me as a dragon, for the simple reason that I had 2 dragon siblings before me. I recall Roy Williams asking me about Nick and Camilla, and discussing my future performance on the sailing team. I asked myself a million times, what would I do for a fall sport if Nick and Camilla were JV and varsity soccer players and I did not even like soccer? I had many teachers who talked about my siblings' accomplishments. Nicholas was head of the Spanish club, and he was inducted into the Spanish Honor Society. Camilla, on the other hand, had great academic results, and all of this obviously put a lot of pressure on me. And it was at this time that I realized how awful it felt to be held up to such high standards, and how even worse it felt to fall short of the expectations others had of me and those I had for myself. So yes, it took time for me to understand that I needed to be myself and do what I enjoyed. I did not make the varsity sailing team, but my passion for sailing led me to join the Geronimo crew twice, and I sailed part of the transatlantic trip. I tried swimming and made it to the varsity team, and discovered I was not bad at it, and I actually loved it as much as sailing. As a freshman, I tried to play cello for the orchestra, and that did not work. I did not make it because my cello skills were definitely not at that level. This disappointment led me to join the handbook choir, and just recently turned my hobby of singing in the shower into being part of the prestigious a cappella group, the Hilltoppers. And by the way, if you still question how I made that cut, don't worry, I still question it myself. Failing to make the varsity sailing team or the orchestra were bit setbacks, but I learned the importance of always being oneself and trying new things. I worked hard to be my own independent person, free from the expectations created by my siblings. I made my own decisions and did things my way. Another big setback was not learning any French after 2 years at St. George's. My mom speaks perfect French, so she insisted that we all took French here as a third language. Nicholas and Camilla did quite well and learned, and although I had always tried to learn too, I really struggled during my sophomore year. I tried my very best not to fail, and some of you witnessed this. I was disappointed with myself, felt embarrassed with my mom, who told me I had a great year and therefore would have no problem learning. Failing in French made me take the courageous decision last spring to leave St. George's for my junior year, in an attempt to master this language. While it was not easy at the beginning, I learned not only to speak French fairly, but also learned and grew in so many other ways. So to get to the point of this chapel talk, if I hadn't had a complicated start with Will, he would have never become my little brother Raj. If I had not failed to make the varsity sailing team, I would have never discovered I could be a varsity swimmer or else cross the Atlantic. If I had not failed to make the orchestra, I would have not been part of the handbook group or realized I could actually sing outside of the shower and become a fellow Hilltopper my senior year. If I hadn't almost failed French too, I would have never decided to leave my junior year and go to France and learn French and appreciate a new culture and live with a new family and fall in love with a new country. So now, almost 4 years later, I understand the meaning of the words my parents told me when they dropped me off for the first time. Chris, things will not come easy. You will certainly fail at things you try or expect to achieve, but always remember to learn and grow from your failures. This will make you a better person, a more complete and understanding one. I wish that all of you, especially you third formers sitting right here in the back, and you sophomores sitting over there, you're only starting, I hope that you fail. And I hope that you fail big time. I hope that you feel left out once in a while, so you learn to appreciate what being part of a strong community like St. George's feels like. I hope that you feel ignorant from time to time, so you can appreciate all the things you have learned here at school. I hope that you feel sad sometimes, so you appreciate the moments you share with your friends that eventually become your family here on the hilltop. I hope that you have problems with your roommates, so you learn to appreciate the meaning of true friendship. I hope that you feel unheard, so you understand the importance of listening. I hope that you fail, so you learn to work twice as hard. Because true success will come from learning from your weaknesses and limitations, from getting to know what really matters to you, discovering who you really are, and only then, when you fail, will you be at the start of becoming a successful person. To end, I'm not here today standing in front of all of you because I succeeded at the things I did here at St. George's, but rather because with the support of my family, my friends, and my teachers, I was not afraid to fail, to try, and to learn for these 4 last incredible years. So thank you, St. George's.